Avinav, on behalf of you, you had no internet connection yesterday and therefore you were unable to take the class. Right, but I hope you have watched recorded class. Don't keep the word in pending and back.
Yeah. So actually, actually on the time of class, I didn't have internet connection. Actually, it was lagging. So, and after that, I was busy in another case actually. So that's why I came home at 10 o'clock at night. So I
Oh,
didn't
no, at
attend.
all. No. You are active in civil society group or what?
No, no, sir. Actually, my mother is working in a Christian institution, you know.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there is some case, some police inquiry, something like this. So I was with my mother
Okay.
because
Okay. Okay.
she was struggling alone. So I have to go there.
Okay. 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 Chalo. So she's working in some institution which is related to Christians, right?
Right, sir.
And police is doing inquiry. Fine.
Yes, sir. Right, sir.
What kind of institution is this? It is an educational institution, or it is a civil society group, or it is something else?
Yes, sir. It is education disabled child, sir. Yeah, they are taking care of disabled child, and there is
Okay,
an office
disabled
also.
child. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
So it is
and there is an
basically
office also.
NGO, which
Yeah,
is
like
taking care
NGO.
of the PWDs, person with disabilities, right?
Right, sir. But it's
We call
private. We can't say.
differently abled people. Prime Minister called the
Yeah,
Bijendra Jha, right?
right, sir. Right, sir. But it is not governmental institute. It is a totally private institute. So we
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
say
I can
NGO.
understand. It is an
Like,
NGO.
yeah, right, sir.
Hmm. So, just you covered the class from the
Yes,
recorded
sir.
one. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yes. Actually, sir, there is some inquiry over that they are Christians, so they are converting religion of Hindus.
I
So,
can understand. I can understand.
yes,
The madness is going on in the entire country
yes, sir.
on conversion, reconversion issues,
Yeah.
and
And sir,
MP.
and the boss, he is not in India. He is living in America. So
Okay.
whole staff is struggling alone with police. And you know,
Hmm, hmm,
police
hmm.
जान खा जाती है.
Right. It's, I can understand. I can understand the
Yes, sir.
police inquiry,
Right,
and
sir.
Indian police is great, huh?
Right, sir.
Hmm. Yeah.
And the people asking, they are asking for that first arrest them and after that take your inquiry. So how can this possible? First you are arresting someone and after that you are taking some inquiry, some proof like this. So in now in
Local
my
people are against of the NGO, right?
yes, sir. Yes, not local people, sir. Bajrang Dal, you know Bajrang Dal.
Yeah. That is they mobilize the local people basically. Bajrang
Right.
Dal, Hindu
Yeah.
Mahasabha.
Yes, but there is nothing like this that they are converting religion or nothing like this. And
Yeah. I
some
can
who,
understand.
yeah, and someone who converted their religion, but with their choice only. Means they are
Fine.
not. It is not forcefully.
Okay.
Still, they
Fine.
are
Fine.
saying that they are taking some point that they are converting, and that's all. And in that
Hmm.
NGO, sir, there is only 5 Christians and 85% are Hindu and Mohammedan.
Yes. Hmm.
Still, they are.
Yeah. ये जो घर वापसी का जो दौर है ना, ये चल रहा है.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
There is a lot of
Yeah.
controversy regarding conversion and reconversion.
Yeah. And in my family, me, my mother, and my sister. So my mother is totally alone. She was facing that I'm no one
Okay.
with me. So I have to go there.
Okay, fine, 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 fine. It's all right. It's all right. Just now you cover the classes, right?
Yes, sir. Today itself, will cover that
Yeah, yeah,
class.
you'll cover it. Let me give
Yeah,
you
okay.
a few questions on secularism. Yeah, right. Right. First question: Indian state maintains a principal distance with religion. Discuss. This is the first question. Indian state maintains a principal distance with religion. Discuss. Second question you write, how Indian secularism is different from from the Western notion of secularism. These are the two questions. You solve it and send it to me. Right. And I will check and then I'll get back to you. So yesterday we talked about on the word secularism, and the preamble talks about that India would be a secular state. And what secularism does it mean? I already explained. Now come to the next word. The word is democratic. Democratic. Right? India is a sovereign, socialist, democratic republic. What do you mean by democratic? When one say that India is a democratic country, what do you mean by democratic? People have power. Okay. Now, if you look at, these are two words. It is made from two words. Demos means people, and kratic has come from kratos, means to rule. Democracy means rule by the people. Rule by the people. That is meaning of democracy. Right? Yeah. Demos means people, kratos means power. Yeah. To rule. So democracy means rule by the people. Now look at, we are not ruled by king. We are not ruled by king or queen or family. That is called monarchy. Monarchy. We are not a monarchic state. We are not monarchic state. Right? Then have you heard of the word? Let me tell you. In ancient India, ancient Greek city state, there was a different form of government. There was a government like called monarchy. Have you heard about monarchy? So when one person rules, right? When one person rule, then it is called monarchy, right? And but if that person is rule but not in favor of the people interest, then it turns into tyranny. You know, when one person rule, but if it is in correct form, it is a good, well for the people, then it is called monarchy. But if it is against the people, you know, it is brutally work, then it is called tyranny. But if the rule is by the few people, if the few people rules, then if rule is good, then it is called aristocracy. Aristocracy. Canada is, has a constitutional monarchy. Yeah, right. For example, if you look, Canada is a Dominion state still today, and its head is, British Queen. And if this rule is deviated form, in a bad form, then it is called oligarchy. When person rules for themselves. But when there is a many people rule, right? When it is a good form, then it is called polity. Right? But when it is a bad form, it is called democracy. Who said it? This is, Aristotle division. Aristotle division of government. So when any territory, any state is ruled by one person, if rule is good, right? If, monarch working for the welfare of the people, then it is called monarchy. But if the one person is ruling, on the discretion, on arbitrary, right, and not welfare of the people, and by the force, then it is called tyranny. For example, Kim Jong. Kim Jong is tyrant. He is a tyrant. Making sense? The Kim Jong is a tyrant. Right? But you can call, like Saudi Arabia is a monarchic country, where there are monarch rules. Right? Now, similarly, when few chosen people work, but when they work for the people of welfare of the people, they are called aristocracy. You must have heard the word aristocracy. Right? When the people, when they rule, not for the welfare of the people, but for the profit of themselves, then it is called oligarchy. When the many people rules, and when rule is for the good, and it is called polity, and when it is a bad form, it is called democracy. Right? So as per Aristotle, democracy is a bad form of government. Democracy is a bad form of government. Right? Why he said there is another region? There are many regions. Now, if you look at ancient Greece, ancient Athens, here you can find direct democracy. Have you heard about the Athens? Ancient Athens? There was so many. Sir, is military coup oligarchic? Yeah, it is. No, military coup is called timocracy. There is a different name for it. It is called timocracy. When the military coup rules the country. Yeah, it is Myanmar. Yeah, for example, Myanmar. It is called timocracy. Sparta was a timocracy. Right? Look at when Athens was there was a direct democracy in Athens, right? But Sparta was ruled by a military coup, a military that was called democracy. Now look at direct democracy in Athens. Athens is a mother of democracy and the entire world, right? And if this democracy was based on equality, right? Second, rule of law, equality, rule of law, and third, to rule and to be ruled in turn. Third, it means equal opportunity. It means equal opportunity. Why? If you look at the democracy, Athens was a very much small population state, very small population. Athens was a very small populated state. बहुत कम population था Athens का, and direct democracy was possible. But if you look at the current democracy, right? Here that is not possible. So the modern democracy evolved as an indirect democracy. Right? Indirect democracy, which is also called representative democracy. Also called representative democracy. If you look at direct democracy, people directly govern themselves. In ancient Athens, direct democracy means, people directly govern themselves. Themselves. Let me give you an example. Panchayati Raj. Panchayati Raj. Have you heard about Panchayati Raj? Institution. Small, in the short form it is called PRIs. Panchayati Raj institution. They are an example of direct democracy. But if you look at the modern democracy, it is not direct, but it is indirect one. Here people does not govern themselves, but people govern them through their chosen representative. In indirect democracy, people govern themselves through their chosen representative. What the idea? For example, UK, US, India, right? Germany, France, and other part of the world. You don't have direct democracy. We have representative democracy. Did you get it? That idea? Now, population is very large. Direct democracy is not possible. Right? Direct democracy is possible when there is a small population. For example, Gram Panchayat. Direct democracy is introduced in the village level, but it is not possible at India level. It is not possible at a state level. So, modern democracy is an indirect democracy, also called representative democracy. Now here, people does not govern themselves directly, but people govern themselves through their chosen representative. It means the people govern themselves through directly elected by the people. For example, UK, US, we elect MP, member of parliament. We elect, member of legislative assembly. Am I making sense? The indirect democracy and direct democracy. Pakka? Pakka? Yeah. Now, if you look at the modern democracy, which is called representative democracy, indirect or representative democracy, it is based on certain features. What are the features of the representative democracy? The first is, the adult franchise. Universal adult franchise. Second is, equality. All are equal. Third is, it is based on consent. Right? Then fourth is free and fair election. Free and fair election. Fifth, rule of law. Then, rule of law. The rule of law means, rule of law we will talk about we'll talk about Article 14. Rule of law means all people are equal in the eye of law. All people are equal in the eye of law. It means, man, woman, right, rich, poor, right, tribal, all are equal before the eye of law. And when someone say rule by the law, what happens rule by the law? Government uses law in order to, suppress the dissent. Right? So government suppresses dissent on the name of law. Law ऐसा कहता है, law ऐसा कहता है, law ऐसा कहता है. So rule by law is very problematic. Now government of India is, doing it. For example, you see the, ED, right? Enforcement Directorate, ED, ED has, actually investigated so many cases, right? And so many people have been arrested by the ED, right? Enforcement Directorate. Yeah. So that is called rule by law. Did you get, Shivani? What is a rule by law? Rule by law when the government use law for its own sake, for its own interest. Yeah, CBI, ED, right? Investigates and make, the all inquiry about opposition leaders and opposition, right? In the name of law, they are saying, okay, law ye कहता है, law ye कहता है, but अपनी बात हो तो छुपा लेना. Rule of law means all are equal before the law. अगर आप ED में, for example, क्या नाम था इसका, शिवसेना MLA Sanjay Nirupam. If Sanjay Nirupam was arrested under this, when Sanjay Nirupam was arrested, then other person can be, Sanjay Raut. Sanjay Raut. Yeah, you're right. Then other person also can be arrested. But no, people are arresting few selected people, right? Anyway. So this was the actually major features of the indirect democracy: universal adult franchise, equality, consent, free and fair election, rule of law. Right? Independent judiciary. Independent judiciary. Then, constitution. These are the major features of indirect democracy in the world. I'm talking about holistically. Right? Wherever you'll find democracy, this could be the basic features you can find in any democracy, whether it is a Indian democracy, whether it is American democracy or British democracy. Making sense? Yeah? Yeah. So I introduced you the term democracy, and then I told you that there are, initially the world has invented direct democracy. People govern themselves. But in modern world, since population was so large, direct democracy was not possible. And therefore, there is a new invention that is called representative democracy, where the people does not govern themselves, but they govern themselves through a chosen representative, right? That's why it is called indirect democracy or representative democracy. And these are the features of representative democracy, right? Representative democracy. Now, if you look at, there are two variety of, it can be divided in two variety. One is called, parliamentary system. Parliamentary democracy, like, UK, India, right, are the classical example of parliamentary democracy. Then you have presidential form of democracy. Now you can see US is a presidential form of democracy. UK is a parliamentary form of democracy. Now, if you look at, the president is the nominal head as well as executive head. The president is the real head. Head of the executive. The real head of the executive. But if you look at the parliamentary system of government, does president real head of the government? Does he? No. The president is a nominal head. The president is nominal, or you can call ceremonial head. And the prime minister, the PM is the real head of the government. Right? In the presidential form of government, you have president who is a real head of the government or the real head of the executive. Right? Executive और government दोनों बराबर use करते हैं. Now, if you look at, there is a separation of power. Separation of power. So executive and legislature, power is separated. There is a separation of power. Executive, legislature, and judiciary. Right here, executive. Got the idea? This principle works here. Separation of power. But in parliamentary democracy, there is no separation of power. Here, nominal or ceremonial head, right? Ceremonial head. So the president is a nominal head or ceremonial head of the government in parliamentary democracy. Who heads the real head? The prime minister is a real head in parliamentary democracy. Right? But in presidential democracy, the president is a real head of the government. Now, presidential form of government democracy is based on separation of power. Right? But here, check and balance doctrine works. Check and balance doctrine work. Now here you can see executive is responsible to the legislature. Executive or the government is collectively responsible to the lower house. The executive, or you can say government, is collectively responsible to the lower house. This is a principle on which the parliamentary democracy is based on. Making sense? The parliamentary system of government in parliamentary democracy. Swati, the parliamentary democracy is based on check and balance doctrine, and executive is responsible to the lower house, collectively responsible to the lower house. Here executive is not responsible to the, right? Executive is not responsible, to the to the lower house for its action. In US, executive is not responsible to the lower house for their action. In India, and in UK, yeah, the executive is collectively responsible to the lower house. Now, one more definition, if you can see here, the parliamentary system of government. If you look at the parliamentary, these two types of government. Now, look at in the parliamentary system of government, there is a harmony between executive and legislature. And legislature, right? Now you cannot find such harmony, right? There is a tension, yeah. There is a conflict, right? And cooperation. Sometimes conflict, sometimes you can find cooperation. Conflict between executive and legislature. Making sense about the two kinds of representative democracy in the world, right? Now I will move to India. Now if you look at India, India have parliamentary democracy. Right? India has parliamentary democracy, but UK has also parliamentary democracy. What is the major difference? We are reading Indian polity. Now if you look at India has opted parliamentary democracy from the colonial role, and also especially, yeah, which is better? No, both are better. We are the people which makes the government better. not the government itself. Government is an institution. If people are good, government could be good, right? So both good government are good, right? There are some advantages in both the government. There are both disadvantages in both set of government. Now come to the parliamentary democracy, UK and India. Now, if you look at the parliamentary democracy, it is also called prime ministerial form of government, because prime minister is a very much prime ministerial form of government, because prime minister is the real head in parliamentary democracy, right? It is also called Westminster form of government. Westminster, because Westminster is a place in London where the Prime Minister House is located, called Westminster form of government. It is also called cabinet form of government. Cabinet headed by the Prime Minister. It is also called cabinet form of government, Westminster form of government, and prime ministerial form of government. What? The parliamentary democracy. Now come to the Indian parliamentary democracy and the UK parliamentary democracy. What is the difference? Now, in terms of, if you look at the UK parliamentary democracy, in UK parliament is sovereign. Parliament is sovereign. It is said that the Parliament of Britain can change a man to a woman, and can transform a woman to a man. That kind of power the UK Parliament has. It is said, it reflects a power of the UK Parliament. इसका ये मतलब नहीं को मैन को वुमन बना देगा, वुमन को मैन बना देगा, नहीं. No, this is actually metaphor used for the UK Parliament. Yeah, no issues. Yeah, Avner, check your internet. Just refresh yourself. Good. Yeah. Sometimes you refresh yourself, and when you lose your connection, just tell me, sir. If you did not get anything, then tell me what you didn't get. Now, UK Parliament is sovereign, but Indian Parliament is limited by the Constitution, right? The Indian Parliament is not sovereign. Indian Parliament is limited by the constitutional provision. Right? By the constitutional provisions. Right? Even the Supreme Court can review the law passed by the Parliament. And the Supreme Court can review law passed by the Parliament. Did you get the idea? The Supreme Court can review the law passed by the Parliament. right? Now, if you look at here in UK parliamentary democracy, now I'm just, have you done? Let me know. If you're done, then I will move ahead. Now come to the, again, parliamentary democracy. Right, India and UK. And we have seen that in UK, the parliament is sovereign. Secondly, if you look at, you know, there is a, hereditary constitutional head in the UK parliamentary democracy. Sir, in UK, PM changes in days. It happens. It happens. They have, they follow the procedures. If the president knows that I am unsuccessful in fulfilling the task, then they actually resign from the post. Unlike India, right? Unlike India, when the Prime Minister says, I will resolve all the problem within the 15 days. After demonetization, Indian Prime Minister said that, मुझे 50 दिन का time दे दो, right? And the problem of demonetization will be solved. People who are facing lots of problem during demonetization. 150 people, died by standing in the queue. And there's a hue and cry. People who are facing lots of problem due to demonetization, right? And government made so many irresponsible statements, right? Yeah, many people faced many problem during demonetization, especially me, because there was a marriage in my family on 26th November, and 8th November was the demonetization day. Right, I, along with the entire family, was staying in Malab queue since early in the morning, right, till 4 o'clock, and then thereafter standing in queue before ATM, right, and meeting many people to exchange the old currency, right? You think marriage was on 26th November. We were prepared in October, right? The last week of October, with all money, right, which has been, withdrawn from banks, because money have to go to, many tent wala, halwai, the cooking people, right? Many people, we have to arrange before, now 1 week or 1 month before. Otherwise, it would be very difficult to conduct marriage. उसी दिन पैसा निकालोगे तो मैरिज भी नहीं होगा, है ना? And many problem, मौत याद दिलाओ, so many things. Shivani, so many things. Yeah, you can understand. So many things, was there, right? Exactly. Now, so many, goals were changed. Anyway, I'm not talking about demonetization. Let me talk about UK and Indian parliamentary system of government. Right here, you can find the nominal head, nominal or ceremonial head, is from dynasty. Nahin? Or you can say hereditary. But if you look at, here it is a republic. India is a republic, right? So here nominal head is elected one. Nominal head is elected one, right? And that is why India is called Republic Democratic Republic. Democratic Republic. Third, if you look at, sir, can you Parliament abolish monarchy? No, not at all. Parliament cannot abolish monarchy. Yes, Shivani, dowry, हमने शादी में dowry नहीं दिया था. Let me tell you, that was a love marriage and love come arranged marriage. So love marriage का एक फायदा है, dowry नहीं देना पड़ता है. Right? So, but you have to arrange everything, na? You have to arrange the all, the barati, the barat ghar. You're from North India, you can understand. Even in the southern India, there are lots of use of money in marriage. Marriage is something very auspicious and very much related to the money in India, everywhere in the world, including India. Anyway, so the nominal and ceremonial head is from dynasty, but in India, our nominal and ceremonial head, that is president, is elected one, right? And that was India is called Democratic Republic. Now, third, if you look at, sir, king is a UK have power, a very nominal, no substantial power. Only formal power. You can say he's a head, right? Now, if you look at, now here PM must be from, the PM must be from the lower house. The PM must be from the lower house of the parliament. But in India, it is not fixed. PM can be from either of the house. PM can be from either of the house, or even from outside of the house. Outside of the house. But he or she has to attain membership of the house within 6 months. Attain membership within 6 months. Right? Any person can be prime minister. Right, Swati, you can be elected as a prime minister. You can be prime minister of India without being membership of the parliament. But you have to gain the membership of either of the house within 6 months to be the prime minister. Otherwise, your prime ministership will cease. But if you look at the UK, here prime minister is from the lower house. Am I making sense? Sir, I don't know that. Before I thought it mainly come from the lower house. Yeah, most of the prime minister has come from the lower house, but the Manmohan Singh was not from the lower house. Manmohan Singh was from the upper house. Right? Rajiv Gandhi was from upper house. When Indira Gandhi was elected as a PM, she was from upper house. It is not necessary that Prime Minister should be the leader of majority party. It is not necessary, but generally Prime Minister is the leader of the largest majority party. It is not a rule, it is not necessary or mandatory that Prime Minister should be from the leader of the majority party. For example, I.K. Gujral or, actually Dev Gowda. Dev Gowda was the Prime Minister, but he was not, he was not, the leader of the majority party. Dr. Manmohan Singh was from the upper house of the parliament. I hope you got the idea, the democracy, then two types of democracy, then again representative democracy. We have divided two types of democracy, presidential and parliamentarian. Then I have talked about what is the basic features of the parliamentary democracy, and then I have divided the UK parliamentarian and Indian parliamentary democracy. Yeah, PM. You can be PM of the India if you gain trust of the vote. You must, your member of the parliament must support you. The 2/3 majority must support you, right? Otherwise, even the leader of the largest majority party, if he has not support of majority of the house, he will lose the prime ministership. Yeah, any doubt if you have, you can ask about the democracy, right? Or the parliamentary democracy, or the presidential democracy, form of government. Clear hai? Very good, very good. Tomorrow I will talk about, democratic republic. Republic means, where head of the state is elected. Republic में ज़्यादा नहीं पढ़ाना है, where head of the state is republic. And if you look at the roots of republic that lie in India, for example, Lichvi Republic was very popular, right, in 16 Mahajanpad of the Buddha time. And therefore, after that, this republicanism means any person can be head of the state, right? That evolved in Italy, and later on, it evolved worldwide. Many countries are the republic. China is a republic, yeah, because there is no hereditary power, right? So it is a people's republic called, right? For example, America is a republic. Any person can be the head of the state. But if you look at the UK, is not a republic. It is a constitutional monarchy. It is a monarchic parliamentary democracy. Am I able to convey you the message about democracy? Did you get the idea what I have taught you? Yeah. So in the Lakshmikant, there's one chapter on parliamentary democracy, chapter number 12, I hope. If you can go through that chapter, right, it would be better for you in understanding what do you mean by parliamentary democracy. In the parliamentary democracy, Prime Minister is a real head, right, of the government, and the Council of Ministers or the executive or the government, both are same but called differently. Ek aadmi ka naam, same person has different name, right? So that is a different name. You can call executive or the government or the Council of Ministers. This Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the lower house, that is Lok Sabha. That is a basic principle of the parliamentary democracy. In parliamentary democracy, we can find it is based on check and balance doctrine, right? Yeah, Swati, do you want to ask any type of question? Any question, most welcome. No problem at all.
Sir,
No
will
question? Okay. Everything clear? Everything clear?
Sir, will Britain king will have same powers as like Indian president, like veto power and all?
I didn't get. Come again?
Sir, will the like king of Britain will have same powers as president of India, like veto power and
It
all?
is very nominal power. The president of India has more power than the British Queen,
Okay, sir.
right?
Okay, sir.
Right. So I'll stop here and see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll talk about some noble idea or political concept like liberty, equality, fraternity. Right? Have a great day. Right? See you tomorrow.